Hey everybody, this is Cowrie from Cowrie's Corner. I have a question here from Vicky, and I took a few notes on this one. I wanted to, so if you hear me pausing, please excuse me. But I wanted to kind of touch on this one a little bit because this is a life lesson one and one you have to practice daily. So I'm going through a divorce, and I hate him. This isn't me. What can I do? Okay. So, Vicky, um, this is a big one, and it's a tough one to swallow. And what I'm about to tell you is a mindset change. Okay. So, um, and even what you're asking that question is a mindset change. So, um, and I'm gonna come to you from a perspective of how I did it, and been very successful. I've helped other people do the same thing, but it is not the easiest of processes. So you want to stick with it, grind it out, and believe me, it's well worth it to everyone, to yourself, everybody else in your life, and the collective. So let me go ahead and get to this question. So first thing is, first your conversations um, about all people to all people must change. Okay. Um, you're probably saying right now in your mind that you hate him, and you're telling other people you hate him. You're focused on just speaking negatively about him, and you got to get away from that. Okay. You got to start packing that up in your brain and getting away from that. Um, and Because when you think about it, well, I went through some of these therapies and I went through a lot of different things. And one of the first questions they would ask me, and they would ask me in that relationship is like, hey, what do you love about her? And during that time, I was in so much stress about the relationship, I couldn't think about what I loved about her. I couldn't even, I don't even think she could either. We were both just sitting there like looking like two deers in headlights because you're in this phase of anger and rage. So we want to start backing off of the anger and rage because you married him because you loved him. You were with him, and now it's just things about him that you don't love. Or you married him and had expectations about him, and those expectations weren't met. He wasn't able to meet those. Or you weren't able to meet his. And maybe that wasn't discussed. So, learning this process or trying this process on that I'm about to tell you may help you out with that, with him or with anybody else. Okay. So, um, the key here is you want to eliminate that war inside of yourself. All right. Because your hate has nothing to do with him. Your anger has nothing to do with him. All right. And I know this is difficult to swallow. Big pill has nothing to do with him. It's a war within yourself. Okay. Eliminate the war within yourself. So, in my time of separation and going through divorce, um, I learned to speak positively about her. I pushed myself to in any conversation that I was engaged in, even in my mind, where you're walking around the house and you're like, man, this, ugh, and you're like, no, not gonna be that way. You know, let me stop looking for the hate, because if I do that, if I keep doing that, I'll eventually just bring that over to another relationship. So I'm gonna stop all that. You want to free yourself and just focus on becoming pure of heart. Just softening your heart. You don't want to bring anything else. If you're leaving this relationship, if you're staying in this relationship, bring a softened heart. Bring a softened heart to other conversations, because this is not just about you or your husband. It's about the collective. It's about a relationship. It's about a you're building your character for the collective, for everybody in the world. So I'm gonna keep going. First, you must stop mocking them in your mind, and stop mocking everyone. This will build your character, and the fighting internally in your heart, internally in your mind, that war within yourself. Um, this will stop that fighting, and it'll stop external fighting in your life, right? So this hate that you have for him, it'll start going away. You'll because you're stopping that fight. You're not mocking them in your head. You're not saying bad things about them, even inside of your mind. And then when you stop saying bad things about them externally, oh man, it's nothing negative there, right? So now you're able to start loving them, or you're able to start saying, well, these expectations don't need to be met, or I've been expecting something that they couldn't achieve. They expected something from me I couldn't achieve, and we expected something from each other that we didn't work on to achieve. So these are things that you need to think about. So this is the second phase. Just stop with the mock internally and externally. Um, when you speak about them, when you speak to others, period, to about them, about anything, start speaking from a soft heart. Okay. Um, with a comforting speech and a soft voice, it's much better received. So when you're approaching whatever's going on in your divorce, um, I know this is difficult, but think about comforting them. Think about, he's probably going through the same thing you're going through. He probably hates you too. He probably wonders why he hates you. But you have to show something different. You have to show a different character. And your character will show who you are. It'll bring up and it'll make a different you. And I know this is a little long, but this is pretty cool. And remember, we all come from different cultures, different environments. So apply understanding to their faults. Apply understanding to what people have going on. Anybody, not just your husband, because you're doing this for the collective. The whole thing changes. So basically, I'm telling you to love him instead of hate him. It is that simple. Right now you hate him, just love him. You have before. Do it again. Stop fighting yourself. Because if you can't love him, you can't love everybody else. If you can't talk to them, you can't talk to anybody else. Don't do it. If I ever thought anything negative, I focus back on my belief system. And I don't know your belief system, but I'll tell you mine. Anytime I mocked or said anything negative going through my divorce, I stopped myself. During the separation time, I stopped myself and just said, hey, Lord, fill me up. Fill my holes and seal my cracks. Lord, fill me up. Because I can't do that. Fill my holes, fill my cracks. I might be walking down the hall and think about something about her and like, man, geez, Lord, fill me up, fill my cracks. Because I don't want to think negatively. If I want to give love, I have to put love inside of me. And I don't think I wasn't, I thought I had this love inside of me, but I had to put that in. And once I started putting it in, I was able to start pouring it back out. So put love in your heart and you can pour that out. You can give that back and you won't hate him. So it is, you're giving the whole time. Um, and I learned to soften my heart. I learned to soften that hardened heart. Um, and I let the God that started being in me love her, and my hate started disappearing. My internal battle, which I thought was hate, it wasn't hate. It was expectations from both of us that um, weren't talked about, weren't discussed, weren't weren't worked out. So most of the time we're in divorces because of expectations that we didn't work out with each other. Um, but that love, once I started putting that God love inside of me more and more, I was able to pour out and love her and love everybody else because I loved her and she's a part of everybody else. So, even the guy that cut me off in traffic, I love him too. You know, you love these people, and then you're not judging them, and you won't feel judged. You won't feel any pain from this. It'll disappear. Um, and people will normally people normally force hate during a divorce. Think about it. It's a fight. It's a fight. You're separating. Anytime you separate something, you're ripping it. It's a fight. It's a battle. And think about Mike Tyson in the ring. He didn't come in there with compassion and comfort for the person he's fighting. You don't do that. Even Bruce Lee, he didn't come in like, hey, I'm gonna really comfort you when I hit you. I'm gonna not uppercut you. That's gonna be comforting. Like, oof. And no, that they don't do that. You're going into a fight to battle, right? But this particular battle, you don't have to be that way. You don't have to show that rage and chaos and anger. You don't have to do that. All right? So instead of just showing that rage, chaos, and anger, show the quality and integrity of your character. Show that you grew through this process. Show that you're ready for, if God plans on giving you somebody, show that you're ready for that. You don't have to be mean and nasty. You don't have to talk insensitively. And one thing I will tell you, when you do that, when you start applying this process, you'll establish a new communication method through your divorce for everyone in the collective, for everybody, and it'll be based off of comfort, because it's the only way you can do this. It's the only way you can do this. You approach people with comfort. That comfort then comes with love, respect, and compassion. People are able to receive that. But you have to learn how to comfort people. So, and this will prepare you for your divorce and after your divorce, if you still get one. I know that this method has saved marriages going through a divorce. And even after divorce, it has trained them to prepare for whoever God has planned for your life. So, to answer your question, stop fighting yourself. And it will keep you from fighting and hating anybody else. Stop fighting yourself. And it'll keep you from fighting or hating anybody else. Just stop fighting yourself. That's it. Thank you. And Vicky, I hope this answered your question. I hope this helps. A little longer on this video, trying to walk through the process. My mouth is dry, so I know you guys see me about to die over here. So, but anyway, yeah, stop fighting yourself. End that war within yourself. You don't need to hate your husband. Have a good day. And everybody, caloriescorner.com. Thanks.